Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Matt's Morning Show. I'm Matt, and it's the morning. I really should be quiet. I am in a secret spot this morning. I should keep it down. It is so secret, even the fish haven't found it yet. I'm telling you guys, I am on the struggle bus. It's been all last week in the morning. I mean, I've only got an hour to fish. I got to get to work. I'm not complaining. I'm blessed to be able to get out here every morning, even if it's only for an hour. I love it. It sets my whole day up correctly. It gives me time out here in the morning to collect my thoughts for the day. All of those fun things. And one of these mornings, I'll start getting my pattern together, and I have been heavy on the swim baits this morning, almost all morning. I've not had a touch. I've been from 14 to 17, over the top of the weeds, outside the weeds, on the bottom, you name it. I got good marks in here. I'm probably 150 yards now outside the weed bed, the southern weed bed. So I'm just to the north of it. I just seem to be doing what I typically do, and it's not working. And so what does that tell me? Well, I guess it tells me I should switch things up. Now, that being said, you come out and fish for 60 minutes, and it's the first 60 minutes of daylight. Sometimes you can catch them good, and they're right on the feed, and other times it takes a little while for that sun to get up, for them to turn on. Like I say, I don't have that kind of time. Certainly Monday through Friday, and in the last month, again, this is not a complaint, but I've gotten busy. At work, I'm a contractor. I have my own business. And my phone keeps ringing, and I am blessed by that. Absolutely blessed. It allows me to do what I do. But all of that being said, I got to get my shit together, because I'm not out here just to wash lures in the morning. Everything that comes along with it is wonderful. I still need to catch fish. That's my goal. That's why I'm out here. That's what we're doing. Oh, all right. So I spoke with my designers, my web designers last night, and they have the web version of the app ready to roll. I've got a bunch of people that said they were into helping. So I think I'm going to shoot for. I don't want to say a date yet because I got to look at my schedule. I'm thinking about that first Saturday in November. Not this Saturday, the 26th of October, but the following Saturday. Or Sunday. It doesn't have to be a Saturday. I just thought whatever would be easiest for everybody. I need 20 to 25 people, and I need you to sign up with me by direct messaging me. Probably the easiest is on Facebook. And I just need your name and your email address for this test, for this beta test. By the time I get back and I put this video up today, I'll look at my calendar and firm up a date. But we're ready to test. One of the things is you got to have a bump board. You have to have a bump board to do this, to be in this test. If you don't, also get a hold of me. We can either hook you up with one, tell you where you can buy one, but bump boards are the way of the future, and everybody's going to need a good quality one. I suggest Catch or Soko Outdoors, one of the two of them. Both proud sponsors of Walleye Fest, but it's got to be a production bump board. Everything we do moving forward, every boat, or really not every person, if you're fishing on somebody's boat and they got a bump board, then you're good. But everybody's going to need one. That's just the way of it. That's how we're going to do what we're going to do with the new format. It's just like we did this past spring. Just like the Lions Club Derby has always done, everything's by length. I didn't watch all of it. I fell asleep at the end, but I watched most of the first Monday night game, the Ravens and the Buccaneers. The Bucs came out and slapped them around good in the first half. It was 10-0 Tampa Bay, quick. They were all over Lamar Jackson. Sacked him 3-4 times in the first half. But once he got right, it was all over but the crying for the Bucs. It ended up only a 10-point game. At one point, the Ravens were up 24. My Swimbait presentation, I have been switching back and forth. There are so many perch in the West End, and I know they're everywhere in this lake. I just fish the West End, so I see them all the time. I've been throwing stuff that's been different colors, that was black when it was, before the sun came up. But with so many perch around, that's what these walleyes are in here predominantly eating. I haven't seen any appreciable shad schools in here yet. I have heard some of the guys on the East End saying that they're seeing them already. I think the majority of these walleyes right now are still eating perch in here. We caught them on blades yesterday from 3.5 inches up to almost 13 inches. And they say that a walleye can eat a bait up to 2/3 its own size. So, again, a 15-inch walleye, which is not big by any means, theoretically could eat a 10-inch perch. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but I'm sure it could happen. So I've been throwing stuff that looks like a perch. I've been throwing stuff that looks, just regular minnowy. I've been throwing some colors. I've been throwing some black. Hasn't mattered yet. I've been counting it down through the water column. I do see a little bit of high bait around. But it's listen, it's a little frustrating, right? I mean, the goal is to come out and catch fish. I'm not going to let it ruin my day or upset me. Although I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't upset me. It's that fine line of trying to be in control of your emotions and be passionate, but yet not be so passionate that you feel that super high and that super low. All the greats in sports and all the greats, period, in life have always said the same thing. You gotta try to level that out. You can't get too high and you can't get too low. So every cast, hope springs eternal for me. If this is the cast, you're gonna feel that tap, or the swim bait rod's going to start to load up and it's going to be game on. And I know I've seen and talked to a few of my friends out here that have already started their fall swim bait bite. I have not. But One of these days I will. And then watch out, because you're going to get it. So yeah, I didn't see any of the second game. It was Chargers, Cardinals. I really had no interest in that game. I didn't have a ton of interest in the Ravens-Bucks game. I always like to see the Ravens lose. I'm not a Baltimore fan. And I wouldn't mind seeing Mayfield have a good season. He already is having a good year, but I wouldn't mind seeing that kid have some success. He seems decent enough. You know, I liked him. I liked his personality when he was at Cleveland. So I guess ultimately I was rooting for the Bucks last night, but when Baltimore gets it right, boy, they got a lot of weapons. And that kid playing quarterback, you don't know if he's going to throw it or run it at any moment. Thursday night, though, 2 nights away, we get to see SU I almost said basketball. We get to see SU football again. Primetime ESPN game, Thursday night against Pittsburgh, who I think is ranked. They were ranked. I don't know if they still are. I didn't follow them last week, but they were in the low 20s. Last time I saw them, that would have been probably 2 weeks ago. So Syracuse has got a chance to beat its third-ranked team of the year. We've already beaten 2. 1 home, 1 away. This one's going to be away as well. I see that they got Marlo Wax back, their starting middle linebacker that we lost first or second game of the season. So I don't know if he's going to be playing, but I thought I read that he was cleared for practice at least. You know, another bye week. It's a long bye week too. There was an extra day in it on the front side, and you're going to lose 2 on the back side. But let me make one more switch here quick. I count my bait down. I was just doing it in my head, and I'm like, wow, this isn't very interesting TV. So when I'm swimbait fishing, every cast I count it down, depending on how far, and that means how far down the water column I want it to go. So when I'm just in search mode, usually I'll do 5 casts per bait, per color. If I'm just searching, and I go, the first ones I count it down 2 or 3, and then 5, and then 8, and then 10, and then 15. And by that time, depending on how much water I'm in or how heavy the head is, you're on bottom. Now, sometimes I'll make the first cast with a new head, size-wise, and I'll count it first off all the way to the bottom until I see the line go slack. And then I know how long it takes to get all the way to the bottom, and I can adjust and bracket accordingly. Now, sometimes it's no different than if you're a troller. Sometimes you're setting your lures up high in that mid-water column, 15 feet, give or take. 10 to 20 if you're over 40. There's always those high fish suspended up there, traveling. I don't know if they live up there all the time, if they just travel up there, if they spend their life sitting with their bellies on the bottom looking up and see something silhouetted and race up for it. I don't know the answer to that. But it also allows you to, once you get a bite, so let's say I counted down 5 this cast, and I get a bite. The next cast, I know that I can go and count it down the same 5 and get it in the same area, And if I get bit again, now you got a pattern, okay? Maybe you don't get bit the next cast, not at 5. You know, you're counting it down to 5. So the next cast, you count it down to 8, and you get bit again. So now you know there's somewhere in that range, and you can just keep peppering it. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Because they move. They're not stationary targets, you know. Boy, I really wanted to bite with you guys out here, man. I thought for sure you'd bring me good luck. No, you didn't. You're all fired. How do you like that? Oh, last cast of the morning. We're going to let this go all the way to the bottom. We're going to drag it back slow across the bottom. We're going to have a giant walleye, probably the biggest walleye ever. Just inhale it. I'm going to go like this. And you're going to go like this. And the crowd goes wild. Last cast for love. Come on, fish, show me a little love. Now, Swimbait retrieves. You can do whatever you want to. There are no rules in fishing. There are only theories, suggestions, historical data. But there are no hard and fast, you can only do it this way. So, you want to twitch it, you know, a little bit. You want to stop it and let it swim to the bottom. You want to just pause briefly. You want to speed it up, slow it down. I'd never tell you that that won't work because it might. It just might. And lastly, what I'll tell you, and again, swim baits are just the ultimate chuck and reel bait. Most of the time, my retrieve is tipped down to the water, straight and steady. Just like that, moderately slow. Slow to moderately slow. Now, the water's not super cold yet by any means. It's 54 degrees this morning. We've had such beautiful weather, it's kind of warmed back up a little bit. Don't be intimidated by throwing a swim bait. I fish most everything on a 1/4 ounce jig head. I'll show you here in 1 second after this cast. I said last cast, but I'll go one more. Because I really want to catch fish. I'll show you some jig heads real quick from B Hammer Tackle. I went and saw Brian the other night. Courtney and I went over and saw Brian and his lovely wife Debbie and sat on the deck overlooking the lake. They've got a beautiful spot right there. That's his mom's house, but it's Brian's. And anyway, he hooked me up with a whole bunch of jig heads that he poured for me over the summer. I was looking for just a straight round ball. I happen to like the spring lock keeper. This is a VMC spring spring lock that I'm using on this particular bait. Brian gave me some goodies to try out, and I'll go through them real quick with you and show you. So, this is his 1/4 ounce swim bait head. I'll show you that. And you can see the spring-loaded keeper on it. Sorry, everything's moving. This is just a straight round ball with a gold hook. Brian's got them in gold, and he's also got a chemically sharpened black wire hook. Now again, you can see. Sorry, I'm trying to stay still, but I'm getting bounced around here. This one's a 1/4 ounce, and this one's an 1/8 ounce. man, I can't keep still. You can see the difference in size. He's got them in a myriad of colors. You can take your pick. I don't know if he's going to be selling them as a 3-pack or a 5-pack. And I don't know the cost yet, but I'll get you all that information soon. This is a gold one with a keeper on it, which these are fine with that little keeper on it. But if I'm fishing a head like that, I super glue it. I thread the bait on like this, and I'll get it to right there, and then I'll super glue the shank right in front of the head and the keeper, and then I'll push it on once. You got to make sure it's straight, and then it's good. The beauty of these is that spring keeper, even if the swim bait rips through the body, the body rips through the hook shank, it still stays attached to the head, and you can fish it and fish it and fish it. So yes, thank you. Today's episode is sponsored by B Hammer Tackle. Support local. Brian's right here on the lake, been here his whole life. He makes it. We all know he makes worm harnesses, trolling harnesses for casting and for trolling. He makes jig heads. He has hooks. He's delving into other tackle in the future. So get a hold of Brian. He's the best to deal with, and he'll take care of you. So, all right, everybody, I'm out of here. A very uneventful morning. Boo! The Russian judges give it a big fat 10. And there are boats all over out here this morning. It's a Tuesday morning. Don't you people have jobs? I'm one to talk. Well, everybody's out this morning. All right. Well, they're coming out. I'm going in. Have a great day. Have a great Tuesday. 2 days till game day. Keep your tip up.